You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast
delivering player experience news.
Let's go!
I got too scared and didn't make a quirky little introduction, and welcome to Podcast PXN episode 183. I am one of your hosts, the perennial dating app swiper from Portland, Oregon, Christian Macias, who's not allowed to get horny, and I'm joined over Discord by Kentucky's #1 Spartan and PXN founder, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM.
That's me.
You want to redo that one? You want to do something else? Say literally anything else?
It's a me. Oh,
There you go.
yeah.
Thank you. Sure. And the president of the Tifa Lockhart fan club. He is, oh my God. And then he's the Nintendo aficionado and artist extraordinaire at Roro.
Hello, I am allowed to get horny.
True.
Yeah. Well,
True. No, Roshan's allowed.
Don't take this away from me.
but do it
I'm
for
the
both of
I'm
us.
the president of the Tifa Lockhart Association. It's kind of my thing. It has
Sometimes
to
you gotta get your hands dirty.
No, well, not me. I had something to say about a certain president, but I'll say that after. And one half of the Men in Gitch podcast, but Battlefield's a bad boy, the Tarkov Teletubby himself. Yeah. Gage Dempster.
That's me.
Nice. Nice. Hey, speaking of presidents, it's been 2 days. What's up with is Donald Trump gonna get arrested soon?
No.
What's going on with that?
thought there was going to be
Probably not.
protests in the streets yesterday, but guess not because he didn't get arrested.
Yeah. Arrest that man.
This is the only time I've been okay with AI art.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you to everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Just search Podcast PXN, and also on twitch.tv/Podcast PXN. We've got 2 housekeeping items for you. The first is, hello, happy spring. You've made it. It's no longer winter. It may still be cold this week where you're at. However, time to clean up a little bit. Also, remember to drink water. Also, if you have to take allergy medication for whatever reason, now is the time to stock up. You got to do it. You'll also be sneezing. That's no bueno.
Not true.
On behalf of everyone in Canada, I'd like to say that saying preposterous things like winter's over now is kind of silly.
Yep. We have snow this week as well in our area, so
We'll
I'm
have
with
snow
you.
for the next month.
It's supposed to be
It is spring though.
supposed to be
It is.
68 tomorrow here.
Oh my God.
1
fuck
degree
you,
off.
Daniel.
Yeah.
I wish.
Sorry, I was drinking my protein shake. Our second bit of housekeeping news is some very sad news. This happened earlier this week. Actor Lance Reddick has passed away unexpectedly. Very tragic news. Of course, in the games world, we know him famously as I'm forgetting his character's name in Horizon, but also as Zavala.
Yep.
Zavala in Destiny. Players have been hanging around Zavala's little place in the tower and paying their respects by chilling around him, which is very lovely. And also, Lance was reportedly playing Destiny the night before he passed away, so he really was in the Destiny community. Loved that community. So very sad his passing.
Absolutely. That's obviously we know him from The Wire and John Wick as well.
Wick.
But yeah, my touchstone for Lance is definitely Destiny for sure. Like that's kind of where I got to know him better. Obviously, it's a platonic relationship. I don't know him, obviously, but from what he's shared with us publicly, he seemed like a really stand-up guy. And it sucks with Destiny almost ending, like this era of Destiny ending, that he won't be there to see it to the end. So that's another kick in the nuts. But yeah, that's another legend lost too soon for sure. So rest in peace,
Absolutely.
Lance Reddick.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't
Watch The Wire.
Watch The Wire.
Watch The Wire.
Also, respect to this man for not only being a badass, a hard worker, one of one of Keanu's favorites, but also for being a real one whose favorite word in the world is titty.
Hell yeah.
It's a good word.
Actually,
Okay.
Before you move on, one story that I just remembered that I thought was really cool. Keanu was looking for him, I think, on set of John Wick 4 or something. There was some story like that, and like it was his off day, I think, and he was with his girlfriend.
I can tell you.
Oh, okay, yes. Tell us.
Yeah, so the day of Keanu's birthday, he was hanging out with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend was like, "What do you want to do right now?" And this was like towards the end. He's like, "I want to go see Lance," and it was it was an off day, and so they just went to go hang out with Lance, and he got to meet Keanu's girlfriend.
Very cool.
Yeah, damn. I'm gonna miss this man when I go see John Wick.
Oh, I have another story, but it's not as touching as that one. But there's in Destiny, like there was a recent character death. I won't say who it was, but Zavala attends the funeral in the game. Like it happened this week, and just seeing Zavala like kneeling next to a casket was like, God damn it! Why now? The timing of this is just so tragic. But yeah, that also hit hard this week when I did the story mission. It's like, God, too soon.
Too soon indeed. There's no right way to transition, so here we go. The topic of the show this week, folks, is Redfall, Game of the Year contender? But first, the show always starts with the quick bites. So go ahead and jump right in. All right, I jumped. Here we go. Criterion leads from the Need for Speed Unbound game have left to form a new studio called Fuse Games. They are now working on a new AAA game. I do like the logo. The font on Fuse is pretty cool. Reminds me of like Wipeout or something.
Yeah. Cool logo. I'm excited to see all these new studios' games when they finally come out. We've got That's No Moon. There's a couple of other ones that I'm forgetting the name of, but yeah, a lot of new studios forming.
Maybe we can make this a tots 1 week, but I am becoming very optimistic about the idea of gamers leading game studios and having final say. We all were skeptical, and again, regardless of who he is as a person, but Dr. Disrespect's game is shaping up to be really, really good. It's getting a lot of positive buzz. I don't know. I've heard nothing but good things, and it's only been a year in development.
The problem,
but because I don't know. I'm just saying. I like the idea of all these proven studio leads leaving these giant companies to go start their own thing with their own sort of motto and their own principles and whatnot. So I'm cautiously optimistic for the future of stuff like this.
Wasn't there another one this week as well with like a streamer like Shroud teaming up with somebody else?
Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of those popping up to Gage's point.
And that one, Ro, I think I'm far more optimistic for than Dr. Disrespect's, because the Dr. Disrespect situation is openly an NFT-based game.
Yes.
So to be excited for it, I don't know about that for me. But because that other studio you're referring to, Ro, I believe they confirmed that there's not going to have like microtransactions and that kind of stuff, I think, unless I'm confusing that with a different story. But yeah, that story had me optimistic though.
The two studios that I'm really excited about is Haven Studios, just because I think that's a big question mark. But again, their concept art has been pretty sick. But Bruce Straley's studio, Wildfly Interactive, I think their like mission statement of a studio is at the heart of what both Gage and Ro were saying about like just leaving the mainstream and going off to do their own thing and making cool games. So that's what we like to see.
Oh yeah.
I bet. Moving on. Shuhei Yoshida to receive the highest accolade available at the BAFTAs, the BAFTA Fellowship. This is for outstanding achievement in the arts. Some other recipients of this award are Alfred Hitchcock, Charlie Chaplin, Steven Spielberg, Stanley Kubrick, and Martin Scorsese. Yoshida joining the ranks of some highly acclaimed people. Swag, very cool. Shout out to Yoshida.
Hell yeah. Well done.
Yes.
Well done indeed. You're smiling?
We both said it at the same time.
Yeah. Should we kiss on it or?
Yes.
Anyway, speaking of developers leaving, 3 former Blizzard leads form their own new AAA studio, Magic Soup Games. And I think this logo is also very cute.
Very adorable.
You
like
started that
AAA games again.
You started that with, speaking of more people leaving, 3, 4, and I was like 3, 4, 3 again. Are we gonna get into this? No, 3 former.
No.
I was like, again.
Man, this logo, we're eating soup out of this character's head.
It's a
Gotta
great logo.
get it because he's got eyes and a mouth. So,
I love head. Moving on. European regulator delays decision on Microsoft ABK acquisition from April 25th to May 22nd, so just a little bit under a month. Microsoft submitted remedies, of which are not public, so we don't know what exactly it was, but of course Microsoft has been making promises and making goodwill gestures lately in the public by extending I think Call of Duty deals on various consoles, so whatever it was on the back end here, they are trying to do whatever they can to make sure this deal does, in fact, go through.
Good. I wanted this to end.
yeah.
Yes, I'm in the same boat.
Go
I have
through.
nothing to add.
Yeah.
Go through or don't at this point. I don't care. Go through or don't. Just let it end.
Yeah.
Give me or release me, parasite, but do not waste my time with talk.
That should be Jim Ryan's next quote.
That's arbiter.
What?
No, that should be.
From
Or
the better
Microsoft
game, Halo 2?
Yes. Oh, he knows. He knows.
Well, that's weird, Christian, because me, you, and Ro all voted on
I
the
don't-
best 2000s game, which ended up being Halo 3, not Halo 2.
It doesn't count because Gage wasn't there, so we have to redo everything.
It's cemented in history now.
Speaking of cement, I don't know. New PlayStation patent explores. I can't believe I have to finish this line. Explores NFT and blockchain tech in games. I think I spelled something wrong here. Converse? I did something wrong here. You're able to trade with cross platforms. So PS5, PS4 games can trade their little unique whatevers. Jim Ryan's PlayStation. Not one I want to be a part of if this is true. If they move forward with this.
Not a fan.
Not for me.
I haven't checked PlayStation Stars in a while, but sometimes I pop in and look at the things that we have to do to get the little trophies, and like, why would I go out of my way to do this? But I guess they seem.
Are you still looking at those?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I open
You're
up the PlayStation
nuts.
app every now and again, and I take a gander, but I'm not going out of my way to like complete them anymore. For
You're
sure.
probably the only one checking this.
Well, I'm opening the app, like so it's there.
You know what? That's actually fair, Ro, because when Microsoft did Microsoft Rewards or whatever it was called on the Xbox 360, you could unlock things for your avatar and stuff. I used to literally go look for stuff like that to unlock achievements to get those special things. So that's fair.
Like if they did like give me an avatar, maybe I'd do it. But like these little, I don't even know if I would do that. I don't know what they would have to do. Jim Ryan seems to be investing in it, but yeah.
I mean, like Switch does like the little rewards thing where you can use the coins to buy little avatars or little borders, or whatever. That's cute, you know.
It's so cute.
So adorable.
Stop, dude. Moving on, Sonic Frontiers' first free DLC, Sights, Sounds, and Speed, the drug. I'm kidding. Running. Is coming this week. So, Ro,
Yes.
I'm gonna jump back into Sonic.
Hell yeah! It comes out today. It actually came out 20 minutes ago. It came out at 8:00.
Wow.
Today. So I'm definitely I'll be hopefully hop into it after we're done. It's they added a jukebox update, photo mode, which is pretty self-explanatory. The jukebox thing is just being able to play music wherever you are in the world, and it's not just limited to Sonic Frontiers music. It's like old bangers as well, which is pretty cool. And then there's like a boss rush mode, time trial stuff, and it seems really cool. So I'm interested to jump back into it.
You're gonna pop some speed.
Hell yeah!
You ever think about how they won't confirm if Michael Jackson did music for Sonic 3 or not? Like, just nope. They won't say if it's true.
I think it is.
That means it's true, usually.
Yeah, I think it's true as well. You know what else is true? Respawn opened a third studio to work on Apex Legends. The game director believes the franchise will be around for 10, 15 years or more. To which I say, what about Titanfall? What's going on there? Why don't you have a new studio to work on Titanfall, please?
That'd be nice.
Do they say specifically like it's for the ongoing content, or like could this possibly be single player content for Apex that would be like in the vein of Titanfall?
If we get a single player Apex Legends game before we get the next Titanfall game, I'm going to burn a building down.
Well,
I don't know which one,
but
but I'm going to burn a building down.
it takes place in the same universe, so
I don't care.
it'd be possible.
If you're not going inside of robots, it's not the same.
I want to be inside of things.
Maybe.
Robots works. Robots is fine.
Remember how cool those campaign missions were too?
Do you remember how that was one of the best first-person campaign ever created?
Yeah, that was cool. That was a good one. Damn.
Effect and Cause is like one of the greatest missions that's ever been made. That mission's insane.
Mm-hmm. Moving on. Bella Ramsey, Belly, expects The Last of Us Season 2 to air either in late 2024 or early 2025.
Why is this news? I thought we don't listen to actors.
Oh,
Well, you guys shared this into the group chat. You shared this in the group chat.
Also, are you on a like custom name basis with Belle Ramsey? Calling
that's
her
what Pedro
Belly?
calls her. That's what Pedro calls her.
Yeah,
But Christian's not
Pedro calls her
Pedro,
Belly.
you know.
Calls them Pelly.
Oh, as long as we're the same. Never mind.
That's a good got, but nobody else knows about this. So if I had said this in a prior show, it would have been really good. Also, it's in the street me, man. Just look down. Just look down.
Do you think she's like that? Sounds about right though. Late 2024, early 2025.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what we were saying in the last episode as well. Yeah. To be
I'm
expected.
excited.
I think I'm not gonna watch.
You're
Anyway,
not.
we
You're
don't-
so
we don't-
full of it.
We don't need to do.
You're so
No,
full of it.
hold on.
You
I
say
already
this
said
with every movie that comes out, and then you're like, my friends are dragging me to it. I'm like, yeah, your friends are dragging you.
I've already said that I'm not watching any more Marvel movies after Guardians. I think I'm not gonna watch The Last of Us Season 2.
Sure.
Okay.
Whatever. I mean,
I don't believe you.
Why don't you believe this? All right, so CD Projekt takes the Witcher spin-off, Project Sirius, back to the drawing board, reevaluating the scope and commercial potential of the game, losing around $7 million in the process.
Nice.
It's a lot of moolah.
Which I'm guessing the
Yeah.
dev team will have to make up for it by getting it out on time. So
We're starting over, but please still make the projected release date that we had in mind.
yeah,
Crunch.
That'd be brutal if that's the case.
Yeah, that would suck. But yeah, again, a delay is usually a good sign for most cases in game development. But
yeah.
at the same time, it's kind of sad that they had to start over whatever they already had.
Remind me, which
This is why-
project is this?
Serious.
Like, which one was that though? Wasn't
There's
it's-
Project Molasses, there's Project Sirius, and then there's Project.
There's Project Silly and there's Project Serious.
Jesus?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I also don't know which one this is.
I'm pretty
It's
sure
one of
this
the-
was.
I
the
think from the
Witcher game.
headlines, this was the co-op one. I think this is the co-op one that they rebooted.
Okay.
Oh,
If
there's
I
more than
remember
one Witcher
correctly.
game, right? Yeah.
Because there's the next main line, then there's Project Molasses or something like that, and then there's this one. One of them is a single player offshoot, and I think one of them is supposed to be a co-op multiplayer game. On top of the regular next line inline entry that's happening. I don't know.
Google has no answers on this. Wait, hold on. Was there actually Project Molasses? I'm seeing something about the molasses flood. Previously
Is that what it's
developed-
called?
Project
Ooh.
Sirius was the multiplayer one.
Okay.
It's not Molasses. It's called like Malang or something like that. There's an M, Project M something. I'm just saying Molasses to be an idiot, but
The
unless
molasses.
it's actually
It was
Molasses,
in
in
the
which case
article.
it's hilarious.
It was in the article.
The
Is that
molasses-
just called Molasses?
The molasses
It's
flood is
not,
the
but-
developer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh my goodness.
PVE co-op. PVE co-op.
This is why we don't announce project names so that it doesn't get silly. You just wait until you have something to call it, and then you call it that.
Yeah,
I saw somebody getting snippy on Twitter because I guess Neil Druckmann corrected Greg that it's not called Factions 2.
Oh,
And I was like, okay, but we can call it Factions 2 for the simplicity's sake. If Neil wants us to call it something else, he can give us a name. All right?
right. Yeah.
Same thing with all these project names. Like, I don't know which one's which because they're all projects.
I have something funny that tells you so much about my character. Back when people were calling Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild 2, I was that asshole on the internet who was like, "Oh my god! Oh my god!
Someone's breaking in.
Someone breaking into Cage's house."
Get him.
I hope not.
No, something must have fallen, right?
I think so.
he
Maybe
have
one of the
pets?
cat. He does have cats. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Maybe
true. You
something.
post it. Yeah.
Maybe they knock something down,
It's good. It's fine. All right.
or just bite up that guy really hard.
Hello?
No home
Are you-
invader.
You're
Oh, there we
muted.
go. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Rose right. Fucking cats, dude.
Wow, that's scary.
He threw his food container. I keep like in like almost like a pelican case looking thing, and he just threw it across the floor. I was like, okay, I guess you want food. Literally, army of thieves happening behind me. But anyways,
What
sorry.
was your?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
There's no
That was
right way to
loud.
jump back.
That scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I heard you say somebody's breaking in. I was like, at first, I was like, what's going on? All right.
There's no right way to jump back into the story, but I was on
No,
the tail
there's
end of it. When people were calling it Breath of the Wild 2, I'm the asshole online that would like refer to the game as the sequel to Breath of the Wild because I knew it wouldn't be called Breath of the Wild 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wow. Yeah, it's
Am I a
not The
hater?
Last of Us
You
2.
are.
It's The Last of Us Part 2.
I do that. Do.
You're so fun at parties.
I am actually
Oh
fun
my
at parties.
God.
Okay, I'm funny and I'm charming. And
Oh,
I'm
did
a
you
flirt.
mean part two? Oh yeah. So we're talking about part two. Okay, just want to make
I
sure
would-
we're talking about the same game.
I would never correct someone IRL. I would never correct someone. Anyway, I gotta get through the rest of this quick bites. EA announces plans to delist Mirror's Edge, Battlefield 1943, Battlefield Bad Company 1, and Bad Company 2 from their digital storefronts. Then in an update, this announced that listing Mirror's Edge in the announcement was an error, which I don't fully buy. I think they probably just backtracked on that. Very weird to like. I don't know, man. Like Bad Company 2, even if like you're gonna remove online services from it, which is fair. It's an old game. Why not still keep it up on storefronts to play like what I think is a great campaign?
I don't understand what the point of doing that is, or removing
Well-
it in the first place.
Mm-mm.
Keeping it up on storefronts, I'm sure. Even if it's little, there's some cost to it, and they're not making money from this game anymore. So, in the eyes of the shareholders, the precious shareholders, it's a no-brainer.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, this is art, and it's not that. It shouldn't be that cut and dry.
The first Bad Company was one of my favorite Battlefield stories. Ugh.
First Bad Company was great. That was a
Yeah.
good time.
I would do anything for Bad Company 2, just a remaster, so I can jump back into Vietnam with the lads.
Right.
God. Anyway, piracy is okay sometimes, folks. Some final news. The third installment to Little Nightmares was teased today by Tarsier Studios. In a tweet, they said "New World," emphasis on new.
So it is the same developer, but it's apparently not Little Nightmares 3. It's a tease for their new game.
Gotcha. Thank you, bro.
Yeah. So they're going outside of Little Night. It might still be a horror game, but
I was gonna say kind
yeah.
of, because from that poster, it looks like they're still kind of playing up the whole scale thing, because it's a tiny boat with this massive cliff in front of it. So it's like new thing, but if you look closely, it looks like it's a massive cliff in the background. And I'm like, oh, so this is a really tiny boat. So I guess it's new, but also kind of keeping that same vibe.
Maybe the cliff is just that big.
True. Very true.
That's what
Sometimes cliffs do be big.
Final quick bite. Today, I'm bringing you the dub of the day, Albert Martin. Oh, sorry, Martin. He's from Spain, so I should pronounce his last name right. Martin. From the RE4 HD project, who spent 8 years working on the mod, announces that he's been hired as a game developer at a studio specializing in retro remasters. Congrats to Albert, because that HD project was awesome. So cool to see just someone make it.
Right. This did in fact turn out to be a W, but I'm gonna protest that Christian doesn't have the right to declare things W's on behalf of Podcast PXN before we all discuss it. So while this did turn out to be a W, you
Someone
jumped the
got
gun
a job.
Trump got a job.
hobby.
Trump got a job in 2016.
Yeah. Regrettably, yeah. Unfortunately, he did get that job. All right, let's fight.
Let's fight. Let's get into the street meat. Let's fight.
Y'all hungry? Let's go crack open a beer and enjoy some street meat. We got one item here, a rumor in a now deleted tweet. The Venom voice actor in Spider-Man 2, Tony Todd, claims that the game will release in September with a massive ad campaign coming in August. To which I said, I don't believe voice actors. To which then Daniel said, I believe it's feasible or something like that. And Gage was like, I'm gonna thumbs up react to you. But Gage,
and I thumbs down react to you. That's the other
thank
part.
you. You were saying
this is 100%. I believe this 100%. This is such an honest slip up, especially his response tweet in which he was like, "Oh, sorry, jet lag. Pretend I didn't say anything." Like this is totally true. This lines up so well. You've got Starfield coming out in September. This is good. They're gonna want their big push. I believe this 100%. 100%.
The first game came out in September, so it's definitely a time frame they're familiar
So what?
with. Oh, I'm
so
just
what?
That if it's a good time frame for what they're releasing, they don't have to go up against Call of Duty. Not to say it wouldn't do well against other games that are not in the same genre.
September is the perfect time for a single player game.
Yeah, and also you mentioned Starfield. That's literally going direct competitor against Microsoft. They have not in terms of what the game is, but like you've got a big tentpole game for Xbox, big tentpole game for PlayStation.
I wasn't laughing at you. I made a joke in my head that I was deciding whether or not I should say. I don't think I will.
Okay.
Oh, I know what you're. Yeah, yeah.
You don't know. You don't know.
Pitching a tent,
no, we know.
I'll say it off air. I don't. My thing is like, even if it were true, like at the end of the day, who's to say? Sony SIE is like reevaluating timelines and then shifts it because it works better. Like it may not actually happen, and we're
No, go ahead.
I don't know. I need to see some kind of ad campaign happen sooner than the month before for a big AAA game like this. Like a PS5 only game, what I would call probably even a system seller. You got to have more lead up than just like a couple weeks.
But that's what we're used to. Could this not be again this new era of Jim Ryan that we're finally starting to see? Is he not looking at things like, say, in video games? It's very well documented. I agree. It's very well documented in video games that like almost half of the budget of big games is marketing. Is Jim Ryan not kind of coming in and being like, do we really need 6 months of advertising for Spider-Man, or are people just going to buy it? Or like if they do have some sort of big showcase in April, May, June, whenever people are saying all sorts of things. If they have their huge showcase, yes, and they have their big thing, and people see all these trailers, that's free hype right there because people are going to watch and rewatch the trailers. And then that moves right into August. Like that, this all lines up for me. And my only question to you is that, do you have any sort of evidence to suggest that this isn't true, or are you being a hater boy?
Oh, I'm being a hater boy.
Okay.
Absolutely. What does the Venom voice actor know? You know what I mean?
What do you mean? He's Tony Todd has been around forever, and I can totally see somebody who works on this game that's in a department totally different from that saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna go talk to Tony Todd, and maybe I'll tell him a little tidbit like, oh, it's coming out then." And then this guy gets off of his plane, like he said, he's jet lagged. Somebody tweets at him, and he's like, "Yeah, September should be." Especially if it's classically film actors that are just getting into the video game space, they don't know how serious people take this shit.
Here's the thing, and this is to your credit, is what's his name from The Walking Dead? Norman Reedus accidentally did the same thing on Twitter, saying I'm working on Death Stranding 2, and then and then of course it was true.
Yep.
Goofy from Kingdom Hearts.
Goofy.
It's coming this year. And then
it didn't though. He was the wrong one. My God. I hope it's
I would say this is probably more credible than not credible.
I agree. I'm
Hell
excited. I agree with what Gage was saying. Like, I think we're just used to the whole months ahead lead up that they don't necessarily really need to do anymore, especially with how big PlayStation is right now. And has worked with other games in the past, smaller games in the past. So a title like Spider-Man should be totally fine to just do something like this a month ahead of its release. But yeah, but I also agree that it's just not what we're used to in this in gaming. Used to like
Right.
a whole years out of like trailers, waiting for more trailers, and then eventually it comes out. But yeah.
Which is my
I will
favorite kind
say-
of discussion because Christian's not wrong. Like, typically, we do get months and months of lead up, but it's just one of those things where it's like, to your point, Ro, like PlayStation recently, like, do we really need to advertise the next Last of Us game 6 months out, or can we just release it and people will swarm to it? And I think maybe, and I think this is a good thing because that means hopefully, probably not, but hopefully, if we're cutting back on advertising budget, then maybe we can put some more of that budget into the game and to the developers and give them more time. We'll see if that's actually what happens, but
I will say this. All right. If they do have a state of whatever, a showcase in July, leading into a month, commercials, whatever, in August, with a
Right.
like mid to late September release date for Spider-Man.
Yep.
That'd be pretty great.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but has Sony not been doing that already lately? Like, I feel like God of War was like that they threw a ton of money into the month before it came out. Like, you saw ads
That's
constantly
true.
on TV. Like, I feel like they've
Yeah.
been doing that lately, regardless of title. Because, like,
You're right.
we got that God of War event that they showed a bunch of stuff, and then we really didn't see, like,
Radio
Relentless.
silence. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're totally right. I didn't even realize that, but yeah, they have already kind of tested this because we got a couple of dev blogs, like you said, a one state of play, and then I didn't start seeing ads until right around it came out.
That's wild to me. Spider-Man and Starfield in the same month? That is
Yeah.
wild to me.
Fuck. That kind of sucks. I don't want that to happen. Like, I want to.
The thing is, Spider-Man is in such another league. Like, Spider-Man is going to sell circles around Starfield. Starfield, new IP.
For sure.
Like, of course,
sure.
people aren't going to know, like, name recognition necessarily with Todd Howard. They're not going to know he made, their favorite, Skyrim, their
Skyrim?
favorite
Right.
fantasy game. Yeah. So, I don't know.
I think you're
Yeah,
right, though. Well, then you also
Spider-Man.
have the audience, the demographic, right, of Spider-Man, of just being able to reach more people, right? So
Mm. Is that game going to be good?
it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good.
I want to swing around the city again.
The only way I'd be cautious is if Miles Morales ended up being bad. And even though I haven't jumped into it yet, I heard nothing but good things. So I feel like Spider-Man 2 is probably gonna be really
Miles Morales.
I think it would be sick if Peter gets the symbiote and you play as Miles and you have to fight Peter.
that would be awesome.
God.
That would be awesome.
Wow.
That would be so good, dude.
That'd be
That would
awesome.
be
Dude.
so good.
They secretly have co-op in the game, and you have to play against your friend Splinter Cell style when you played the co-op for Conviction.
All right, let's not
Oh.
get crazy here.
Yes.
Oh my god, these are such good ideas.
They did this in Dark Souls 3. Anyway. Oh, I can't get horny again. PXN News of the Week. We got 2 items for you. 2 huge items. Big one out of nowhere today. Valve announcing that Counter-Strike 2 is officially announced, releasing later this year, summer 2023, as a free upgrade to Counter-Strike Global Offensive, otherwise known as CSGO. The full reveal is not coming just yet, but we got some small trailers today, and those were enough to, like, when I saw them, I'm like, damn, Counter-Strike kind of has the sauce. So let's go over some of these details. You can stop me at any point. Gage might have some tidbits here, or like might know a bit more. PC gamers and whatnot. First item here. The maps have been completely overhauled with upgraded textures and tools in Counter-Strike 2. There's some really cool stuff that I've seen online of like people do like playing with sliders to see the differences in maps, and it obviously looks a lot better. It looks like the jump from standard definition to HE or to high definition. Like
Right.
shadows looking really great, colors, everything
Colors.
popping. Colors, yeah, huge one. It's looking very, very vibrant and beautiful. Here's where things get like really cool, in my opinion. CS2 will be tick rate independent. I had to read about what tick rates were, but I think I have most of it down. So the way ticks work in CSGO is that on the server side, it'll keep time in milliseconds. Obviously, these things work really fast. And if you input in between these ticks, it will not register until the actual tick rate. Every time the server is pinging these, that's when your input is officially registered on the server, and that's when it happens. So the game being tick rate independent means that players are no longer dependent on these servers for the game to process said input. And additionally, the server knows the precise moment an input is made. So when you do something, the game knows you're doing it, and other players will feel that, right? So it is very much like you shoot, it's happening for everyone.
Yeah.
Which is huge for these kinds of games.
Yeah, not very sexy, but an incredibly important sort of technology to get, especially for competitive games. Like CS:GO is like one of the most competitive games ever. But yeah, this is something that you can't really show in a trailer and get people hyped about. But this technology alone kind of warrants a CS:GO 2, being able to kind of get these prototype systems out there. And yeah, this sounds really impressive. I don't play CS:GO. I probably never will. This sounds very impressive though.
I thought it was sexy, and they delivered it in a 1-minute trailer where I thought it looked really cool. They did it. They did a trailer for the tick rate? I saw the trailer for the smoke. I didn't see a trailer for the tick rate. They did a trailer for the tick rate, and it got me
sexy.
hyped. and I don't play Counter-Strike.
I can't with you guys. You guys have Gage has never played Counter-Strike, and
you don't play Counter-Strike, Dan.
Are you
know
kidding?
What Counter-Strike is. You don't know what Counter-Strike is.
I played Counter-Strike a ton when I was a kid, and then I picked it back up.
That's because you were already 30 when it came out.
He got kicked for being toxic.
Freak out of here. The only thing I'm upset about is that this is the 20th game to go into Valve's fucking graveyard of 2 games, their sequels. We never get a 3. Just endless amounts of 2s. Here's Portal 2, Team Fortress 2, Half-Life 2, freaking every freaking 2 out there that they have.
Left 4 Dead 2.
Left 4 Dead 2, thank you.
I'm just happy I got it too. It took them this long to get here. But
technically it's the 3rd Counter-Strike though, you know what I mean?
I know, but it has 2 in it. They're putting the 2 just to spite us, Christian.
I got 2 for you right here.
Oh, things out!
All right, and the actual sexy trailer that Gage is referring to is this super impressive video on responsive smokes, and this was sick as fuck. I'm sorry. So CS2 has dynamic smoke, which revolves naturally around objects in the map. So they did this really cool render in game where they're throwing it into this staircase or this circle on the floor, just not even an actual environment, just a rendered one they do, just for whatever.
Yeah.
And the way the smoke naturally curves and fills that environment, I thought was extremely sexy. Yeah. Something I thought was huge is that all players are seeing the same smoke, which again, just going back to Counter-Strike being very dependent on all players feeling things at the same time and seeing things at the same time because it's a tactical shooter, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It also reacts to lighting naturally and then fills spaces naturally, which I just mentioned. And here's the cool part. Can be pushed with grenades and carved with bullets. And this is something that you have to see, even if just in a TikTok, or if you just look up the video on Twitter or YouTube. Look at the way the smoke is pushed. This is when I think of next gen, it is stuff like this. This
is what I'm talking about. We've had this conversation before. I don't need games to look any better than Last of Us Part 2. I don't need first-person shooters to look any better than Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, 2022. Two. But
Portal 2.
This is the type of stuff, right? Because this is a huge problem in Call of Duty, which for some reason I've been playing the shit out of this Call of Duty. Even I've probably put more hours into this Call of Duty than anyone before. I don't know why, but for some reason this one's clicked. But this is the problem: is that smokes and debris is not synced up. It's not client side. it is client side. It's not server side. This is a huge problem, and Call of Duty is not even really that competitive in terms of people taking it seriously. So to see this stuff, I agree with you 100%. This is the type of stuff I want. In The Last of Us Part 3, imagine having this smoke technology, or again, Far Cry 2 when I had the fire spraying technology and it fucking knocked everyone's socks off. This is the type of stuff, to me, I agree with you, that screams next gen. Seeing the people shoot through the smoke and you see it dissipate and then reform again. Oh my god, it looks so good.
It was so cool, dude. And it like they just show it like twice, but like seeing
cool.
somebody shoot at you from the other side and then you see like it like makes a little hole in the smoke and then it reforms naturally. Fuck, dude.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
And yet you guys will probably not play it, and I'll play it.
I won't touch it once. I
Yeah.
won't touch it
Yeah.
once.
Me either. It's still cool to talk about though.
Yeah.
I mean, is it not?
You know what,
Exciting
Ro?
it's exciting that these things might come to games that we will play.
Exactly.
I was just
Mhm.
about to say,
Like
you know what?
Fortnite.
I was just about to say, you know what, Ro? Let's play it, and then make fun of these
No.
guys for not playing it.
No,
too.
Ro's not playing it.
No.
I'm sorry.
Shit.
Kirk
no.
in the chat said Counter-Strike with a face palm emoji. That is me right now.
Yep.
I'm never playing that game.
Nope.
Yeah, me either.
Sorry. I'm
Does
sorry,
not look like
Dad.
fun. Does not look like fun at all.
Come on, guys.
We all spent 10 minutes talking about this for a game none of us will ever play.
Okay,
Incredible.
when Nintendo puts this in Animal Crossing, can't wait.
Yeah, those
Mm.
smoke grenades in Animal Crossing 2 are gonna be lit.
Dude, I would break the Switch, dude. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh god. Oh, my hand just starts burning.
Anyway, we got one more news item here. Today we had the State of Unreal showcase, and I just tuned in just because I was like working on the document. I had this on, and it like took up my attention. Like they were showing off some impressive stuff at Unreal Engine. This is the first time I got excited for games in a minute, and it was just all tech side. So a lot of it is going to be like not anything super exciting that I break down, but I'll try to work through it quickly. And I cannot emphasize enough, you have to watch some of these videos to understand how impressive Unreal Engine actually is. Let's dive in. Unreal Engine 5.2, they had a graphics tech demo, and all these videos I watched just on IGN. They're pretty recent. They're not very long. They're like less than 5 minutes each of them. So if you want to go to IGN's channel, just look them up. They're right there. They showed off the Unreal Editor, which I think is insane. They were showing off reflections in a truck that they imported into like just their little tech demo. And then they showcased their individual physics, which is, again, just always going to be sexy to me. What I thought was really cool is that they're introducing something called Substrate in Unreal Engine, which is a new material framework, which I did not understand what they were really talking about, but the way they were showing it off looked really impressive. But the coolest thing I think from this tech demo is that they showcase their procedural content generation tool, which is deterministic and artist driven. So in real time, they're adding procedural assemblies into the editor. Whatever you have imported, whatever's available to you, you can just include it, and in real time, it just it updates it into your game. And then it communicates with nearby procedural elements in the editor so you can make real time edits. And again, you have to watch the video. This is going to be huge for any studio who is working with Unreal Engine. The time this will save for them is going to be massive.
That map that they went from like 300 meters to like a 30-kilometer map or something like that. That was freaking insane. Like they showed the parts without the procedural stuff, and it was just tiny, and then they added the procedural stuff, and you're just like, holy crap, that's impressive.
How many eagles is that?
I mean, what?
How many eagles? Yeah, how many eagles in AR-15s?
You're so dumb.
Jesus.
Because freedom in America.
Right.
And the really small details too, where it's like just chipping away at a clip side and then not having to go in and then edit too much of it. Just like drop this here. It's like, oh, it's fixed. It's beautiful. And barely anything needed to be done. So yeah, like you said, Christian, a lot of time is going to be saved with it.
Now, here's the question I propose to you guys: is that is this only a net positive, or is there any concerns here along the same lines as like AIs with script writing and sort of thing? Right? Like, is this only positive, or is this something where it's like, oh, our environment dev team can now go from 15 people, we'll cut it down to 10. You know what I mean? Like, this is my only concern, just to pose that question. Because I'm looking at this technology now, and it is incredibly impressive. But it is kind of the same concept as a lot of this AI filling in the gaps for other things that we seem to be opposed to.
My thinking, and that's definitely a plausible explanation, but my thinking is like you have more games nowadays that are constantly expanding with new content, new games, new
True.
everything else, that it's like this will just enable them to make things faster, so then they can deliver more content to the players that are playing their games. So like obviously live service games will benefit greatly from this, but also I mean even like single player games, like if someone wants to make an expansion to their game, they can make expansions a lot quicker with this kind of stuff. But you're totally right. It could mean that, less people, work on the environment team or whatever. That's definitely a plausible explanation. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but
Yeah, my thing for me is the way at least the way they showcase it and the way I interpret it is it's not like make a forest and then boom, it's there and you're done. It's very much like I need to like add like foliage to this area, and then I want to like tweak things here and there, and I want to carve a path here. It seems like that is like it seemed like it's very much in what they said is it's artist driven, and it's not the crutch isn't the tool itself. It's just a tool. So hopefully the comparison is not 1-to-1 to like other AI stuff that we've been kind of seeing.
And even it may help just to have a starting point for the artists, like, let's start with this generated terrain, and then we'll just modify it using that tool belt, like, because they showed that off as well, like dropping different pieces in there and changing the procedural stuff on the fly. Like, so I could totally see an artist's jobs just changing to be more of, modifying what they're given from the procedural stuff.
Well, here the next thing they showed off was Infinitesimals, which is a game coming. I don't have the studio's name. I'm sorry, but the developer was on stage showing off their gameplay, and they were talking about how they switched to Unreal Engine 5 and how that massively unburdened them to get their game to hopefully be getting their game out on time. Saying that it saved the team months of time simply by transferring their engine over. And now what they can focus on is importing their assets and using Unreal Engine 5 as a tool to just like move things around and generate these environments way faster than having to craft them individually. So they're able to just to use this thing like almost like as a sandbox.
That's really cool. The technology is really amazing. I do kind of see what Gage is saying with the less work that needs to be done, and I think that's good because it does mean games are coming out faster. It also means that potentially they won't have to crunch as long hours with this new technology that makes the job itself faster. But just like what we're talking about now, the technology will just continue to improve and get better, and it'll be easier and easier and easier, which is exciting for us to be able to get the games more. But I totally see the side of, but I feel like artists are the forefront of this because they have to make the actual things that they're putting in to use. Right. But but
exactly.
It could definitely reach a point where they don't need that.
My worry is how the people in charge use these tools, right? Because like we're all saying, it makes it easier makes it faster. So does that mean that the studio heads come in and like, okay, we're pushing the timeline back 6 months now, and so then it equals out to you're still crunching, you know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, well, this makes your job easier, so let's get this done faster. And it's like, well, so this stuff is really, really cool. I just whenever I see any kind of technology that results in less work needs to be done on the human side of it, there's a little part of my brain that goes.
It sounds like that's the case, but I don't think it is. And I want to pull something from a later video, which is the Fortnite Unreal Editor. They were talking about importing skeletal meshes from like assets that you have already existing. So you imported this into the Unreal Editor, and then you're able to use the tools, which is Sequencer and Control Rig, to then make this animation in your game. And then, of course, Unreal Engine will help fill in the gaps, and you with Lumen and Nanite and all the things, like suddenly you have like this presentation in your game that maybe you didn't even have the information on how to make totally on your own. So again, it's much more of a tool. You still have to have the know-how and the skills to be able to sequence something like this. It's making it easier to bring them to life and bring them in a presentable way into the game space.
I think this next story you're about to talk about is even more concerning down that path because of
this was crazy. Okay, so so they also
Fortnite looks incredible, by the way. Okay.
Yes. The State of Unreal at the showcase, they unveiled their meta-human technology, and they also had a demo, which I listed here. Which is they used Hellblade 2 to showcase this off. In the meta-human animator, meta-human is a new feature that enables you to either use an iPhone or a stereo helmet mounted camera to reproduce any facial performance as high-fidelity animation in Unreal Engine. So you capture it, you import it. Seconds later, it renders it into a full animation in Unreal Engine. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect. You still have to tweak it and make things look more natural. But for its base, it looks pretty good. And then when they showcase how that's done in Hellblade 2, insane. It looks gorgeous. Concerning? Maybe a little bit, but it looked great.
Right.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Like especially in this Hellblade trailer, there's just so many subtle details with her face, especially near the end where she's like getting even more and more intense. It's like that's kind of creepy, but so cool. It looks insane. And on the side of needing someone to make adjustments, and just like you were saying with the earlier stories, like yes, we need somebody to make the adjustments, but again, I'll always keep saying this, like for now. Like eventually it's going to get to a point where you probably won't need somebody to make the adjustments because it'll keep improving and there'll be less and less people who need to make those adjustments, and it'll be amazing on its own. Well, which is scary, but it still looks really good. I just always have to add that little caveat, I guess.
And like not the Hellblade demo, but the one they did live on stage with an iPhone.
Yep.
That's insane that the iPhone can do that. That's
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also just makes it super accessible. Like think about the indie developer who's wanting to make a game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very true. Because they can't afford those rigs. I've heard numerous stories about little indies that can't afford those rigs and a studio to perform that in.
Most people have one of these. All of a sudden, you can do mocap.
Yeah.
We also got to look at Lords of the Fallen. This one, I mean, they were just kind of regurgitating some stuff from earlier, but there was some stuff that I thought was really pretty cool that they're, Unreal Engine 5 is helping support. It has a built-in character customization, which works as a base. You still have to do some other stuff to make it an actual, each game is going to be differently, but Unreal Engine at its base does have character customization kind of built in, so you can use it as your kind of building blocks for whatever your game is going to use. They showcased high fidelity textures, and then the chaos physics engine, which they touched on earlier, but they were really expanding here in Lords of the Fallen, simulating like movement at the microscopic level, which is going to be stuff like hair, clothes, belts, weapons, etc. Seeing that in games, I think, is going to be awesome when more Unreal Engine 5 games are coming down the line. And then anytime people look at lighting, which I'll never fully understand, but when they showcase it, it's awesome. They just showed off global illumination again. But this time they also showed, they were talking about how sometimes natural light can take up a lot of resources when you're entering kind of dense environments. And so what they do is have emissive shapes, which is just like these hidden light fixtures that like help maintain performance and help light your area without actually having the outside source be in that environment. And you don't see them obviously, but it helps like bring the environment to life. I don't know, I thought it was really cool. Just these balls of light. Anyway. We also go look at Project M, which is another, a game that I'm really excited for. This is from NC Soft, Korean game. Very much a narrative-driven game. And I don't understand I don't know if this is just like a game side or an Unreal Engine side, but they're talking about informational particles. Again, don't know if that's game side or Unreal Engine side, but they were saying that these particles both dictate the environment and determines how the narrative unfolds in the game. Very short trailer. And I don't know if that has anything to do with mistranslation from Korean into English, but I was like, I kind of want more on this. What do you mean by informational particles? But sure, I'm already in.
The trailer looks awesome, though. I'm interested in what this looks like in the end. Looks like a good action romp. But yeah, what you're saying about the informational particles sounds pretty interesting too. Like how it could decide how the game plays out based on I don't know what you bump into. I don't know, like what.
I need to know. Time to Squabble. This is the last thing we have here from State of Unreal, which is unreal to me that this is what Fortnite is now. We got to look at Fortnite's Unreal editor. They call it UEFN, and it is freaking insane. Automatically, right now on PC, you have access to 4 years of content from Fortnite for free entirely. You can make real-time edits in the editor. Console players can join you, and they can play as you're making edits in real time. You can also import custom assets you already have into UEFN. You can create and modify those materials. And then, of course, I already talked about importing skeletal meshes, animating using sequencer, control rigs. This stuff doesn't sound like that impressive. Go look at what Epic has made using UEFN, and it's like, this is Fortnite? What are you talking about?
Right.
I think this is a really cool look behind the curtain too, because I think this illustrates exactly how Epic has succeeded so well at keeping things fresh in Fortnite and changing things so quickly, because I'm sure that their developers are using a very similar tool for their development process, and what they were showing off was insane how quickly they were able to add stuff and modify stuff, and like it definitely seems like a very developer friendly editing tool that they're now basically giving to everyone to be able to create their own stuff. So I think that's really cool. Also, quick shout out to one of the Forge people that was like enamored with Forge and Halo 5 and everything. He went and worked for Epic, and he was one of the people on stage that presented an Unreal editor for Fortnite. So that's pretty cool.
I saw a video today. Somebody like made Rust from Call of Duty, and they were playing Domination.
Insane.
And Master Chief was shooting somebody on. Like, come on, dude. We have Call of Duty and Fortnite now. Not that I'm saying like, that's the reason to be playing UEFN, but the potential is going to be wild. RIP Quantic Dreams. No, not Quantic Dreams. RIP Dreams.
Dreams,
yeah. Meaning Molecules Dreams. Yeah, thank you, Ra.
Which put it on PC, Sony. Like that, I feel like that's part of the problem.
Yeah,
like,
it is a huge. They shot themselves in the foot huge with that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we got Fortnite now, so
Too late.
we got to move on. Take a time. Fantasy Draft Check-in. Of course, tomorrow, Resident Evil 4 is launching. We've got a review roundup currently on OpenCritic. We are sitting at a 92 average, which means Daniel is getting a total of 24 points on the Fantasy Critic.
let's go.
That's obscene.
Let's go.
That's too much. I think there should be like a winner.
There should be a cap.
Like a reigning champion like penalty. Like he doesn't get a certain amount of points over the 80 point or something. Like
We should practice the values that we preach. We should have like a progressive tax rate for points. If you make too many points in a league,
You're
then
gonna
you have
tax
to
me?
share your points.
Yeah.
Yes.
agreed.
Man.
Destiny
We gotta-
life goal has gone down to 71, by the way. I
Oh,
got 1
no.
point.
Damn.
And you counterpicked Redfall.
Yeah.
Big mistakes are being made right now.
At some point, I got to ask, is Dan taking this too seriously?
Yeah.
I take it so seriously.
As
Every
soon as he
day
starts
of my life.
lobbying and cutting deals behind corners, you know
What?
that he's taking it too seriously.
Wait a
which has
minute.
been every competition that we've ever done on this channel.
How am I lobbying for this? I bid fairly on the process that we
I'm not
explained.
gonna-
We explained very well, and Gagey still somehow fucked it up.
See, here's the thing: is that we're live, so I'm just gonna all I'm gonna do is plant the seed for the audience, and then not actually give any sort of evidence as to why I think that.
There is
Wait.
none.
Right.
There is none. That's why. Don't listen to him, audience.
All right. Before we get into the topic of the show, let's find out what we've been up to. So, Daniel, what you got for me?
Yes. Still been playing Halo Infinite's new season. Still enjoying that. But I jumped into the Diablo 4 closed beta last weekend. Had a lot of fun with that. I played maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. I didn't really have a ton of time to play it. However, very much enjoyed it. I am very happy with what they did. It really feels like a sequel to Diablo 3 in every sense of the word, and not the Diablo 3 that we launched with that a lot of people hated. Of course, I didn't play at launch. I didn't play until it came to console. I played on Xbox 360, believe it or not, that many years ago. Yeah. But yeah, that game was fantastic. So playing the closed beta, very much enjoyed it. Love the powers and abilities, and it's illustrating why it is the supreme dungeon crawler experience. I love that gameplay loop. It is really fun. So yeah, check it out if you like some top-down dungeon crawler action.
You can check it out. That's I think the open beta is done. You have to wait until
This weekend.
you have to wait.
This weekend's open beta.
Oh,
Yeah.
weekend 2?
Last weekend was closed beta. This weekend, open beta.
Are you planning
Got
on
it.
playing it this weekend?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, because I've never played a Diablo game in my life, and I watched I saw you tweet about it, so then I looked up gameplay, and I'm like, this game looks awesome.
Yeah.
So if it's an open beta this weekend, I'm jumping in.
Heck yeah.
Hold on. Diablo 4 gameplay. Let's.
It looks
I'm gonna-
really good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch this while Ro tells us what he's got for us.
Yes, I don't have very much, but I've been taking a little sip of I don't even know what this analogy is. I was going to say Christian tea, but that doesn't make any sense. But I've been playing a lot more Fortnite as well recently. I've been playing that, and guys, if you look into PXN After Dark right now, if I don't know, I got a victory royale is what I'm trying to say, and I'm posting the video proof of it now.
Wow.
But it's my first time in a long time. Proud of myself, man.
Are you based?
all
Are you
good.
playing no? Are you playing no build?
I was playing no build.
Hell
Mostly
yeah.
no build. So
Hell yeah!
I
Am
felt
I gonna
good.
re-download
drop,
Fortnite?
dude.
Am I gonna have to okay, all right. I guess
Do
I'm
it.
re-downloading Fortnite. All right.
But yeah, Fortnite is really fun this season. Absolutely. I maybe it was
Damn
really
right it
fun.
is.
Maybe it was really fun last season too. Christian will be able to say
You're damn
that.
right it was.
Yeah. So it's continuing to be really fun. Yeah, I'm having a blast of Fortnite. I played a little bit of Destiny. The seasonal content is usually weekly, so I signed in for the weekly story content. There was a certain thing that happened. Wasn't super happy about it, but I did it. I got the thing. We move on. But yeah, I having a good time with Fortnite though, and I'm excited to play Sonic Frontiers later today as well. That's it.
Nice. For me, of course, I mentioned a while ago I've been playing the secret game, redacted game. It's not a new game, it's an older game, but I'm not ready to reveal what I've been playing. It's kind of a long game, so I've been just chilling, taking my time with it, still chipping away at it, having fun. But of course, playing more Fortnite. I've been squabbling with the lads, and so I had to say this one story. All right, you know me, I'm getting my dubs left and right. It's almost boring how often I win. Swear to God. You know what makes it more fun? Having a gummy. So I was just having a gummy, playing Fortnite, and I'm grinding the rails of Mega City. When all of a sudden, I see my friend makes a call out that somebody is on the street level on a building across the street from where we were. So I'm like, bet. So the way these rails work is because it's like, like tilted towers, like these like skyscrapers. Like there are rails above and there are rails kind of like around like second, third story area. I jump from the top rail to the bottom rail. And this is when I realized that I was high because I yelled in my living room because I felt like I was falling in real time. And
Fortnite is so immersive.
it is extremely immersive. Ro. And I'll emphasize how fun the katanas are this season as well. Very cool stuff.
I always pick one up, but I never get the chance to use it because I need to sneak up on somebody if I want to use it. They're always shooting at me, so I don't get a chance.
Use it for traversal is my thing.
I've
As
seen
weapon.
people like that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'll do that.
Gage.
Yes. What have I been playing?
Mhm.
I jumped into Modern Warfare 2 to try the second raid with Daniel and my good friend Ryan.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how you forgot about that. That is
Without me.
there is so much untapped potential in the Call of Duty. Because you know what? We were sitting there, we were playing this little add-on 3-player co-op mode, and I don't think I've ever laughed or had as much fun as I've ever had in playing Call of Duty ever. Even in the old days of Modern Warfare 2, the original, like we were sitting there and we were struggling with the most simple thing. It was exactly the same as sharing the air tank.
Wait a minute.
No. You guys fucked up just as much as I did. No. Put your little grabber claws away.
Let's call
All right? You
Ryan
struggled
on
just
here.
as much as I did.
Let's call Ryan
you
on the
two-
bus.
You two fucked it up just as much as I did. All right. Anyways, we played the raid. We did not finish the raid, and it was a great time, and it was fun. And that's pretty much all I've been playing. I really haven't been playing much games lately. I want to play some more Halo Season 3 though, because that is finally at a decent stage. So Call of Duty is really it. I think that's it. No, I'm playing Last of Us Part 2 again.
Oh,
I'm playing The Last of Us Part 2 after finishing the show. I really just wanted to get back into that story
join
And-
into this. Yeah.
and
What a good game.
and get you know what's funny? We'll talk about it later.
It's not a good game.
No, it's still a great game.
Okay.
It's still a great game.
Uh,
I will
viewers,
We'll say I'm enjoying it a little bit less this time. Still enjoying it, still playing this and going, wow, this is a technological masterpiece, but enjoying it less this time. I don't know if that's because I'm thinking of far like how long the game is. It's one of those like it's like one of those replaying The Witcher things where you think about how much longer you have to go, and it kind of just brings down your excitement. I don't know if that's what's going on because I'm playing it and the moment to moment gameplay is awesome, grabbing guards and throwing them into clickers and all that stuff's great, but I don't know. I don't know what it
Why don't you
is.
just be present, man? Just be present. This is like going on vacation, being like, "Oh, what a great day I'm having! I have to leave in 7 days." No, just be present.
I'm gonna kiss you on the lips if you don't fucking stop. I swear to Christ, dude. I'm gonna kiss you right on the lips. See if I
YouTuber-
won't.
Video viewer, people who watch the show with their eyes, will notice that Dan and I were taking our B reels while Gage was talking.
That was the most real B reel you've probably taken. Was Dan and I screaming at each other.
Nice.
That is just unbridled passion.
Yeah.
Speaking of unbridled passions, Arkane loves to make games. They are so passionate
do.
about making games.
Nailed
One
it.
of which is the new game, our topic of the show, Redfall. Game of the Year contender? We'll find out. Arkane Austin working on a little game called Redfall. You might have heard of it. Huge game. I think the beta just came out. Is coming out soon? Is there any word on the beta? Anyway, people have played it. Industry folks have played it, and we've gotten some impressions. And I'm gonna have a few here from you. Gage retweeted one for me, which is very nice, and I got some from Benji Sales, just kind of roundups from various outlets. I know IGN has their impressions up as well. Jack Frags' was pretty good as well.
I was watching that at the beginning of the show, yes, just to kind of
Yeah.
get a feel
like a
for it.
7-minute video on YouTube, so pretty good. Some Redfall impressions from hands-on previews. Strong single-player experience, which is always great. It's a multiplayer game, but you can play this on your own if you want to. Arkane's best gunplay yet. Of course, one of their strongest assets that Arkane has is the way their games actually feel. Of course, Prey, maybe not as strong, but like, what was the word?
Deathloop.
Deathloop, huge on their gunplay. And of course, the other one, not Thief.
Dishonored?
Dishonored, very huge one as well. People love that gameplay loop. Thank you. And I'm fumbling through Arkane's discography here. This is exciting. There's also many comparisons to Far Cry, kind of in the way the layout of the open world is. They also mentioned that Arkane's level design is still very much present, and it was exciting to me that it's very much immersive. Again, Jack Frags' stuff, I think, was showcasing some of this off pretty cool in the way like puzzles kind of work in, you go into a huge mansion, you got to get some kind of thing, and you get this list, and on this list are like 3 kind of ambiguous locations to where solving this puzzle is. You don't have a thing on your map, you just kind of have to, know where these things are in the actual map in the house.
Right.
And you kind of split off and find them that way, which I think that stuff is always really cool to be on the Discord mic or whatever and be like, oh, I'm going here, oh, I'm finding this, oh, I need help, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Prey did that really well too, with the notes you'd find in the computers and all that stuff. And
Banger game. I love Prey.
yes.
Banger.
Yes.
Hardly know her. Very much Arkane DNA in Redfall. We also got I'll mention this later.
You're gonna get
but-
my DNA in you.
Nice. Important to note, there is no in-game store or microtransactions in Redfall, so they're very much honing in on the experience being what you buy is what you're going to get. It's very cool.
That's huge for me. That is huge. That's that old-fashioned gameplay design that I kind of need right now. No bullshit. Just play the game. And I mean, no microtransactions, no what was the other one? No
In-game
MTX.
store, in-game store.
No in-game currency, right? And they have already said that there is character customization. So to me, that's like, oh, cool. There's stuff that we can find in the world and go and do and actually earn. Who would have thought? That's fun.
Yeah. So hearing this stuff, because if I'm gonna be honest, the thing that I was disappointed most about Deathloop was actually the narrative. The actual gameplay of it, I thought was really fun.
Yeah.
So if this is if the narrative of Redfall, I don't really care on that front. If it's made to be like a core experience where you're just either playing solo or with buddies and having a good time, if that gameplay loop is there, and I'm sure it is, this may actually be really good. Sorry, Ro, for your fantasy draft, but I think I might be getting excited for Redfall. I think it'd be very fun. It's a Game Pass game. It'd be very exciting to play with the lads.
Absolutely.
Which is crazy because the last time we saw it, I was like a little down on it because I felt like it didn't necessarily hit the high mark that we were hoping for. But then now, obviously, these previews have taken me back up the hill. So yeah, I'm very, very happy and excited for Arkane. And they've to this point, the stuff they've released haven't been bad. Like, yes, Prey at launch had some weird issues, but IGN might have given it like a 4 or something. Dan Stapleton.
Still mad about that, huh?
Stupid. I still, anywho. But that they've never made a bad game. So obviously their repertoire or their reputation follows them. So
yeah.
Games set in the Northeast, I think, always look really cool too. Like Fall in Massachusetts, this game has very beautiful art direction. And of course, like a big thing with Arkane is going to be weapon variety, and then obviously like specials, like various power ups, and then having the 4 main characters have different abilities. I think is going to be really cool, and going to lead to some interesting ways to tackle like high level enemies. There's notes here that like fighting vampires is really thrilling. There's probably going to be like different variations of vampires, where like some of them are like really beefy and like have to require like a little bit of thought as to how you take them down or how you approach combat encounters. Again, would probably be really fun to tackle with. Could you imagine there's like a high level vampire in like this like house or something, and we have to like go through together, use certain weapons, and then stake them? This might be really fun.
Ro, does that get you excited? Because obviously you love Destiny. Like that sounds like that maybe that kind of experience. Like,
yeah, when we first saw it, but the second time we saw it, when we saw that extended trailer before this one, I think it was at the Xbox thing. I don't remember where we saw it, but I don't know why I wasn't feeling it then. I'm feeling it a little bit more now after the previews. Obviously, they're high on it, so that would help. But the gameplay itself does look a bit better, even though nothing really changed. I guess just the presentation of it did. But it looks cool. I think I'm more interested as I am now, or as I was before, I should say. It being a Game Pass game is helping a lot as well. I don't think I would try it if it wasn't, because these aren't usually the type of games I'm going to. You did bring up Destiny, and that is a good point. But I usually don't play first-person shooters, let alone co-op ones like this. But this would be fun. Like everything that Christian was describing about the vampires and the world. And the puzzles and stuff like that did sound like fun. It's just not usually the game that I gravitate to in the first place. And that may be my thinking behind my fantasy draft, and maybe I shouldn't think like that. But it looks like I think it looks good, but I don't know, with the games that are coming out this year, this being a game of the year contender, I think I would have to push back on. But it's just with the amount of stuff that's coming out that is definitely game of the year. Breath of the Wild, Starfield, possibly Spider-Man. I feel like there's just a lot more, but this does look more impressive than I thought it was going to be.
I think Christian nailed it though, is that because like even myself, I've been super high in this game since it came out, but after that same as you guys, after that last trailer, even though I'm more high on it than you guys, mine did dip a little bit, and I didn't realize it until now. But there's something about Arkane where the way the game feels is always better than it looks. So like I'm even watching the Jax Frags video there, where I'm liking everything I'm seeing. Just hearing you say that, Christian, I think that's a really good point. Is that Arkane nails the feeling of their games. You could show somebody a clip of Dishonored, and like, sure, if it's somebody doing something extremely impressive, it's going to look good. But like moment to moment of gameplay of Dishonored doesn't really look all that special. It's not until you feel it and how quick everything is, how responsive everything is. So I think keeping that in mind, like this might be one of those games where it's like, yeah, maybe not everybody's rushing out because the trailers don't look all that crazy. But now that we're seeing hands-on impressions of people that are in the industry and that know games and they're all really, really high on it, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, like this is an Arkane game. This is going to feel really good to play, even if it doesn't necessarily look all that sort of sparkly from the outside. And there's a couple of really good things from this playtest that I think were good information to know, because going into this, people were kind of like, is this going to be Left 4 Dead? Is this going to be Borderlands? What is this? So to hear the Far Cry comparisons is kind of really helpful to me, because it's like, okay, I can totally see that in this. This is an open world. Like, we knew it was open world for a while, but with them saying the Far Cry comparisons, like immediately in my head, I kind of know what to expect. I'm like, okay, I see how that's going to work out. But then with the added complexity of Arkane level design, like you're saying, Christian, where it's like, sure, we're going to clear this outpost, and it's playing like a Far Cry game until we get there. And now suddenly there's environmental storytelling, and there's puzzles, and there's no minimap. Like, yes, absolutely. I'm feeling this. I've been feeling it for a long time. I'm excited that you guys are feeling it, and I absolutely think that the four of us should absolutely squad up and give this a go.
When Jack Frag said there's like no like minimap markers, that alone was like, oh, okay, cool, I'm in. Yeah. Because honestly, my least favorite thing about Deathloop was how handholdy the narrative was, like on like figuring out how to escape the loop. That was like kind of a letdown. I'm not going into Redfall with these kinds of expectations where it's like going to be like narratively impressive or whatever. Like, I just want to have fun with friends.
Yes,
guys, I'm with Ro. I don't normally gravitate to these kinds of games either. But if my expectations are set where like I'm going to have a fun feeling game with friends, where we're going to have like water cooler moments together where we're like doing Arkane level design, but with multiple people, that is going to be like one of the highlights of the year. And to answer like my own question, I guess, to what Ro was saying, is it going to be game of the year material? For me personally, probably not. Probably for a lot of industry people, not either. But again, I go back to the fun that you have with these kinds of games is definitely going to be a standout. And I'm no way doubting that this is going to show up on tons of people's like game of the year lists, like a top 10. This is going to be in there for sure.
I could definitely see it being at the Game Awards for a different category, just not the game of the year category.
Right.
Like, it could be maybe best multiplayer something, or like, I don't know what else.
But
what else they got over there that it could fit under. But yeah.
I didn't even think about that perspective, but that's a really good point. Is that like, when you look back at the end of the year, it's like, sure, when we think of game of the year, we think of what is the most technically impressive, or what is the best this or best that. But like, this might be one of those games where come December, we look back, what's the most fun we had? And like, this definitely, to your point, Christian, has that potential where it's like, you know what? I had fun with Redfall this year. I had so much fun doing XYZ, even if it's, again, not the most technically impressive or doesn't have the best graphics or XYZ, but yeah, I agree with everything you said. Do I personally think, especially if we've got Spider-Man Starfield and all the, and Tears of the Kingdoms and all that stuff coming out, do I think it's gonna? No, I don't personally, unfortunately. But I am excited to see how this all shakes out.
It could. You never know.
Yeah, it could, and I would love that for them. Arkane deserves it, because, like you said, again, none of their games have been the best game that year, but for a studio to have that many releases and for like none of them to fall below 80 on like a Metacritic, it's kind of impressive.
That's true. They do level design really well for how fast they make these games.
And like,
you know what I mean?
Like, even just thinking about it now, like, there's so, you know what? I thought the title of this episode was a little ridiculous today, but I think about it. I think back to the original Dishonored. That game plays really well. Like, it's really smooth, and I'm like, you know what? Wow! Like, if people can kind of get ahead of that with Redfall and not wait 3 years to think back on how great Redfall is, then yeah, maybe there's a chance that this gets some recognition and some love. Because Arkane, when it comes to level design and when it comes to fluidity and animations, like they are impressive.
And does the delay give them enough time for polish? to get those bugs
Yes.
out and such. Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. It's going to have a great week on Twitter, but only a week because Tears of the Kingdom comes out a week after.
Mm.
And after that, it's going to be Zelda for a month.
Unless the game doesn't run, which is a possibility. I understand. I didn't
don't
play
know.
it. I understand Breath of the Wild was amazing, but even from that game on launch week during the buzz, I heard people going like, "Oh, if you go to the Forbidden Forest, it turns into a slideshow." So, like, if this game is supposed to be more impressive, I don't know, right? There's always that chance. That's the curveball. Is Nintendo getting ahead of themselves? Are they thinking that they can just throw it out and people will buy it? You will, but will the game be broken? That's the only chance Arkane has, is that if the game is fundamentally broken.
It can be a broken piece of shit, and I'm still spending $70.
I know you are. You guys are the worst.
Kurik's in the chat saying, by the way, his phone's battery is getting clobbered because he's been watching intently our whole show. So he said,
Oh,
love
nice.
it.
Kirik's getting a kiss too. He's second on the list.
He also said, I just started playing Dishonored Definitive Edition on Game Pass for the first time. Loving the
Wow.
game.
Yeah. Fuck
Wow.
yeah. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Level up that blink ability, man. You will not regret it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Don't you just use your eyes to blink?
Teleport.
Some closing notes here on Redfall. Here's a positive one. Remember a while ago when they announced that Redfall was going to be an online-only game and people were kind of disappointed, and then Ro was like, I'm going to buy this on Fantasy Draft because, haha, this game's going to suck.
I jumped the gun on that one.
Yeah.
I take the L.
Arkane has addressed this today, and they said they're working to actively remove Redfall's always online requirement for single-player mode.
Huge.
Which is very huge. Yeah.
You have to we have to, if we want to have any sort of intellectual integrity, we have to commend and respect developers when they actually listen to us, because most of the time they don't. So
Most of the time they double down.
most of the time they double down, exactly. Or they say, "Oh, well, this is why," and then they give you some weird explanation as to why, and you're like, "But that doesn't have anything to do with this." Anyways, kudos to them. That's huge. Honestly, like, again, my hype for like hearing that online thing for me personally, and this is a selfish thing, I was like, I don't prefer that, but that's not really going to affect me. So for them to even then take it a step further and say, like, we are actually going to address your complaints and work on that, like, that's huge, especially for a lot of people that live in anywhere that's not the coastal states where internet's not that great.
Now, just to be clear, Harvey was told not to release this information because they still are not 100% sure that it will be done, but work has started to try to do that. Yes.
Right.
Right.
And then a small piece of news here. Some console news regarding Redfall.
Mhm.
It was originally supposed to be for development for PS5 as well, so it's going to be totally multi-platform, which is unlike Deathloop. However, of course, with Microsoft acquisition, they said here that we were acquired by Microsoft, and it was a change with a capital C, they told IGN. They came in and said, no PS5, we're focusing on Xbox, PC, and Game Pass, which makes sense since they just spent a bunch of money on acquiring them. They want to bolster their first-party lineup. And so after a year of in development, which is probably still pretty early on, they had to just totally shift and just abandon PS5 and just focus entirely on the PC side and the Xbox side. Now Gage can chime in with whatever. What is going on?
Sorry. Totally makes sense, but this is awful timing with everything going on with the Activision stuff for that to come out. Because I was looking at it, I was like, this is a new IP. This shouldn't affect that at all. But of course, somebody just has to say that during all this. Like, great. Mm-hmm. Now we're gonna get an update where somebody from fucking Arkane is now testifying, and now it's a whole like,
Everyone's like, see,
keep that little tidbit to yourself. Keep that little tidbit to yourself, my guy. Come on.
Although I do think that time in Microsoft's life of Xbox is a little different because, like, they were acquiring Bethesda because they had no first parties, essentially. Like, they needed more studios, and Bethesda was that avenue for that. And I think Activision is a different strategy for them. Although, yes, I think that these comments may still come
Optics
back to bite
wise,
them.
yes, not great.
Absolutely.
Phil woke up and was like, God damn it.
Oh my, that's what I thought of immediately was Phil just be like again, probably not a huge issue, but just him going like, oh, fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
Anyway, all this to say, I now put Redfall in my games calendar for 2023.
Oh,
So
nice.
I'll be checking it out.
Very prestigious award.
Keurig,
Hey, that means something when you make the list.
Keurig
What's up? What
says,
Keurig said?
secretly, I want Microsoft to destroy PlayStation, but right now, I must be honest and have been playing my PS5 way more than my Series X.
Hell yeah.
Play
There you go.
Spider-Man with us. Swing around the city.
Play against each other when, Peter becomes...
This game is not going to be co-op. I don't
venom.
believe it.
I know. I'm
Well,
just
it's not
messing.
coming out. It's not coming out this year, anyways, because Christian said that actors are useless and don't know anything.
Yeah. They should all be fired.
Oh, wow.
Replace them with AI.
That's 90 minutes. Thank you again to everyone joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your pods. Thank you, Ro. Thank you, me. Thank you, Gage.
That's
And
me.
that's Daniel. This has been PXN. We are out.
Much love and keep on gaming.
Gotta go fast.
Hey, take care of yourself.